How are we all?
Good. How are you after the big win?
Pretty happy.
Yeah.
Is that a relief?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's. I just said to the guys there that they just made a bit of history with the club back in the Super Rugby since 2017. So yeah, nice feeling there, and a lot of hard work by a lot of people, staff, through the players, and even the new players that have come in. They haven't been here for long, but there's a lot of expectation on them to perform. So that there was pressure there, and it's a huge relief. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And I think the good sign there was we got our tails up when we lost Andrew. About 18 to go, whatever it was, and I think that's a good sign. Is when you're down a man, a team actually lifts, and I think the back end of that game, our defensive line speed, because we didn't have much possession at all, lifted, and it was impressive. And you draw on your experienced guys in situations like that, and Rob Kearney's control out the back defensively. I was keeping an eye on what was happening at the back, and he was superb.
Did you fear the worst when you got sent off?
Look, you do. You think of scenarios, what might happen during that period, and but then the message we sent out straight away was just to stay calm and stick to our processes and what we practice. And the guys did. They responded really well to that red card, and thankfully we held on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, look, it's I feel for Andrew there. It's a guy comes off the bench and it's a tight game and heat of the moment stuff, and I think there's a little bit of argy-bargy both ways, hands in faces, but it's
You must be happy that the team didn't panic after a fairly slow start of the game, 13-0 down, not much happening, and were you feeling that another hard start to the rugby, or were you confident that it was just you were just like a diesel engine, the slow starters, and then?
Yeah, it's not a bad way to put that actually, but look, we wanted to start like that against the Waratahs. Considering their last couple of outings, we wanted to apply a lot of pressure early, but unfortunately didn't go our way, and they started really well. But about the halfway mark of that first half, 20 minutes in, we started to get into our groove, and I was pretty calm there with how we were playing. I think opportunities were starting to open up for us with the ball, and so we finished that first half quite well.
What's your travel program? Do you fly back in the morning, or can you have a big night, celebrate, or how do you celebrate this?
Well, you've got to celebrate it, mate. It's you've got to enjoy those moments, and as you can imagine, it's a pretty noisy change room in there at the moment, and you've got to enjoy it. That's what you work your butt off for all week, is to get the W, and there's no reason why we shouldn't celebrate that. With the importance of turning our attention pretty quickly to a Friday night fixture next week against the Rebels at home. We fly back tomorrow, and we've got a short prep week, and we just got to make sure that every minute counts with our prep next week.
Brynard, what's the main difference between last year and this year? Is it that addition of experienced players that's bringing something totally different, or that extra season that you are having?
I think it's a bit of both. I think having obviously calm heads and experienced players around you is always going to benefit your team. It's just in situations like tonight where you find yourself 13 points down after 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the game. Situations like that obviously helps having experienced guys around you and just people to feed off. But also your second, you said second there about our second year together, so to say, in this competition. I think we can only build from here. We're quite a new built team together. Lots of guys that have been here a while, but also players that have come into the program new. And I think we're building. And every week we take the opportunity to build a little bit more. And as Tim just said, we take the wins, even if it's not the prettiest win, we'll take it, because I think the boys deserve it.
Brynard, you've been through a lot of those lows for the Force and now get this win. What does it mean to this playing group overall with the whole state of Western Australia?
Oh, it's huge for us. We made a bit of history tonight, and it's crucial for us to get that bit of confidence back into, just in the back of our minds, knowing, we've got a good win, and we can achieve whatever we set our minds to achieve. It's huge for the state because obviously there's a lot of loyal supporters in Western Australia. Our Sea of Blue is what we call them, and they're behind us, thick or thin. So for us to be able to take a win back home to not just the Sea of Blue but also our beloved families is just an incredible feeling.
Tim, just on Fergus, that was probably one of your best players. And surprised that a player of his quality hasn't sort of come on a Wallabies camp or on that sort of radar yet.
Yeah, mate. Fergus, you talk about diesel engines. There before, that's Fergus to a T. Just a hard worker. Got a big engine, and look, I agree. He can't be ignored. I think his name might have popped up there last year through Super Rugby.au with Wallaby squads. So hopefully he can, dish up those sort of performances week in, week out. And it's up to the Wallaby selectors, obviously, but. He's a guy that gives you everything, mate. Yeah.
And how is it to be able to play at home at last?
Yeah, look, Brynard just touched on it, mate, with our families and and our supporters, and the Rebels are going through the same, and I'm sure they're bursting to get home and play at home. And we were on the road with them last year, and in a similar situation. So it's hugely important. It's why people invest in the club, and everyone talks about their home ground advantage or fortress, whatever you want to call it, and we're no different. So we can't wait.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Congratulations.